Chris and Joe Show, KTAR. News. On air, online, and on the KTAR News app.
Mm-hmm.
And streaming live on our YouTube. You can watch all the shows and get exclusive interviews and expert analysis on Arizona's biggest stories all in one place. Just search KTAR News on YouTube and hit subscribe. Smash it. Smash that subscribe button. I got an idea. As we were trying to save money.
Yeah, you said that it's a bit extreme.
Yeah. I can speak pretty expertly on this one.
Oh, can you?
So you found a story. I happened across this. Sometimes you can't see the forest. I know the saying is you can't see the forest for the trees, but I always feel like it makes more sense to say
through the trees.
I can't see the forest through the trees.
Mm-hmm.
The actual saying is for the trees.
Okay.
But I don't like that.
No.
I say you can't see the forest through the trees. Okay. In other words, I can't see how big the picture is. Sometimes when I read stories, I go, oh, that is something that hits home to me, but probably nobody else cares.
What was this story?
It's the story you sent me.
Hmm.
I already seen it, but then when you sent it to me, I thought, you know what? Maybe there is something here. Maybe this is a tale I can tell. U.S. News from NBC News says, if you priced out of traditional housing, more Americans are living in RVs. Did you more than skim this? Because it's actually kind of interesting. It talks about people living in a campground and the size of their RV.
Yeah, we've got the price of groceries, gasoline, electricity. They're all going up. And some people are saying that, hey, as costs continue to rise, I'm having to downscale. And, we've been hit with tough times, so we're going to move into an RV.
Yeah.
Try to save some money.
And some people are doing it. In fact, the number of people living in RVs right now has skyrocketed. About 486,000 people live full-time in an RV. That is more than twice as many as in 2021, when I lived in an RV.
Mm. They also say that living full-time out of an RV has freed them up financially to do some stuff like pay down debt, build up savings.
Yes.
Others say some other unexpected benefits, like a sense of community with fellow RVers. You experience that?
No.
Ability to spend more time with your kids. Any of that?
No.
What about living in a smaller shared space?
Yes. I don't know that that's a benefit, though.
These people said it was.
So the vast majority of people that do this earn less than $75,000 a year, according to a survey. By the way, RVs also count, they say boats or vans. They're throwing that all in that 486,000 number. So here's the deal. When I moved into the fifth wheel, my wife and I did this. We moved into the fifth wheel, and it was because we were in a ton of debt. I had lost my job. I was doing fill-in work, and I'm going to say, candidly, I think the fill-in work, I was doing okay. I mean, I think I made between about $45,000 and $50,000 a year just doing fill-in work.
So you might be doing a show in California one day and Tennessee the next. You're jumping all over.
Yeah, I think, California, Texas, North Carolina, here. I did it. I did it in a lot of different places.
I tried to put you on as little as possible here.
But you need to know something going into it. And my situation was a little bit unique. It was not too far out of the ordinary because we used the fifth wheel like an ADU on family land, an additional dwelling unit. Okay. We already had in place an old, unused septic tank because there was a small house in that land that had burned a decade before my family bought the land and then built their own home. So there was already a septic. Okay. That was nice. We were able to then tap into that and run a 4-inch pipe to our camper site. My family also has a small tractor with a backhoe. We use that to excavate and be able to bury that pipe. And we use that to bury the power line. Fortunately, my father's an electrician. So running power and creating that power location, that saved us a bunch too. So we didn't have to pay park fees, as some people do. And the story that NBC ran was talking about $25, $45 a night.
Yeah.
Right? And
you can get up to 2 weeks free if you're on remote federal land.
Right. But if you're paying $45 a night, now all of a sudden, math. 10, 20 days, and 900. It's like, you're paying $1,400 a month in rent.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to consider these things. All right. I was very fortunate for our situation. We bought the fifth wheel outright with savings. We were able to front the money to run the power, the electrical, and the plumbing, and that kind of stuff, and
you
get
had
it
your
done.
Dad, who was an expert.
Dad's an expert, and we had the land. We didn't have to pay for that, and we also had the tools to be able to do that. Go ahead.
A lot of people are saying they're running into those problems, though. The RVs are not built up. There's a lot of wear and tear.
They do.
Issues with the showers at times. You don't want to be showering out of a bucket, which can happen at times. Perpetually moving the campsites or trying to find reliable childcare.
Wear and tear on it. Well, reliable childcare is going to be tough wherever you live.
Mm-hmm.
So, some things you should know if you want to consider this. If you've got propane for heat, you go through a ton of propane. Not so much in the summertime, obviously. In the wintertime, you go through a ton. Now, we were in northern Michigan. We went through an absolute load of propane through the winter. And we did 2 winters in the RV. Your power bills are about as high as they would be for a single-family home because those things are just not well insulated.
Yeah.
And even on units that are designated as 4-season models, not great insulation. You got to have a plan for what you're going to do with the waste. That when you flush the toilet, it goes into a holding tank. Where does that go? Maintenance, as you pointed out, Joe, that can be a bear. And then where you park it can cost you bigly.
Can I throw out 2 more words real quick?
Yeah.
Touch on extreme weather. You got to watch out for it.
Really tough in Arizona with the heat. That's going to be hard on the roof, which could lead to leaks, and that can be a challenge. There's a lot of hassle. But we did get ourselves completely out of debt in 2 years. So there is an upside to all of that.
Thanks for watching The Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe, and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.